trees echo the joyous song. Heaven is here, harmony's bliss to everyone belongs. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. This is Spirituality in Action. My name is Clement Etuk, and with me on the program is Valerie Izuegbuna. Oh, welcome to the
Hi.
program.
It's good to be here.
Awesome. It's good to have you again.
Thanks.
Together, we'll be treating the topic Knowing God Better, Discovering True Love Beyond Personal Devotion. Before we proceed, I would like to make an announcement. Now, if you're seeking true freedom and healing, then let me introduce you to a remarkable book that has changed lives for over a century. Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures by Mary Baker Eddy. This groundbreaking work explores the spiritual laws behind Christ Jesus' teachings and healing works. It explains how understanding God as divine love and truth can bring healing to any challenge, whether physical, emotional, or financial. Science and Health is not just a book, it's a guide to practical spirituality and a deeper understanding of the Bible. It's helped countless people around the world find peace, purpose, and well being. If you're seeking God deeply, to know yourself as His perfect image and likeness, to overcome sin, sickness, and death, then this book is for you. Now, without wasting time, I'll get right to it. How has your understanding of divine love, as distinct from personal devotion, influenced your approach to relationships and daily interactions?
Well, if you ask me what the most important, the most fundamental statement in the Bible is, that statement that I feel every other thing rests upon, I would probably say it's First John chapter 4, verse 19. In that verse, John says, God is love. It's simple, it's straightforward, and powerful. Mary Baker Eddy, the woman who discovered Christian Science, also says in her book Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures that God is love. More than this we cannot ask. Higher we cannot look. Farther we cannot go. I read that and I take it to mean that she's saying that one of the best things we can do for ourselves is to know and to understand that God is love, and to understand God's nature as love. I know many Christians would readily admit that God is loving, and of course, we have so many Bible verses to back this up. For instance, one I personally love so much is that one in Jeremiah where God says to us, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore, with loving kindness have I drawn you. So we're not wrong when we say God is loving. But saying God is love itself, like John says in that verse, that's a game changer. Because what that tells us is that everything we know about God, everything that is true about God, also applies to love. Let's take omnipotence for example. We know God is omnipotent, which means God is all powerful. And if God is love, then love is all powerful. What does this say about hate or violence, resentment, anger, strife? Do we admit that God as love has all power and then still admit that resentment, anger, and all of that still have power as well? It's contradictory. It doesn't make sense and it's simply not possible. All is all. There is nothing outside of all. Now let's dial back a bit to Genesis, where we are told we are made in the image and likeness of God. So if God is love, like John says, like we've already established, then that verse in Genesis is saying we are made in the image and likeness of love. We are like love. We are made to show what love is like. So that starts to tell me that as the image and likeness of love, we are loving. We are loved, we are lovely, and we are definitely lovable. All the terms that apply to love. And guess what? That applies to everyone. It applies to that annoying neighbor who plays very loud music at 2 a.m. It applies to that boss at the office who has simply refused to give you some time off. It applies to that disruptive student in your class, and it applies to even that political leader that we all think is not very nice. The concept of love is one that most of us understand. I think it will be kind of hard to find somebody who doesn't love someone, or at the very least something. We love our spouses, we love our friends, our family. I mean, some of us love ice cream, right?
Sure.
We all love something. But when we talk about God being love, we're not talking about that warm, fuzzy feeling we get with people we love, or when we finally buy that Gucci bag. No, those things are good. But then that kind of love can be limited. Mary Baker Eddy says in Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures that no power can withstand divine love. And that makes sense. If God is love, no power can withstand God. Therefore, no power can withstand, divine love. Because love is based on a love that is unchangeable and unconditional. That God is love is the foundation on which everything good rests. It is love that keeps the world going. So, in a nutshell, that love that is God is much more than a good feeling we have, that we get for people and for things. It's a powerful force that is at work in our lives and in our experiences, healing us, guiding us, and protecting us, regardless of who we are and where we are.
Well, I think the insights you shared are very clear till this point. Yes, very. Now,
Okay.
now, can you share an experience where knowing God better helped you overcome feelings of loss, insecurity, or dependency in a human relationship?
Okay, you remember I mentioned how love that is based on people and things can be fleeting because we can lose them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So a few years ago, I learned this lesson. I found out I was pregnant and expecting a second child. Of course, naturally, I was very happy about this. A few months into the pregnancy, a scan revealed I was expecting twins. And as you can imagine, I was simply over the moon. I started dreaming about the twins, planning outfits, scenarios in my head. I probably planned their entire lives all the way to university at that point. Unfortunately, I lost that pregnancy and I was devastated. However, almost immediately I learned I was pregnant again and I got excited once again. I felt this pregnancy was a compensation package from God. But guess what? I lost even that pregnancy as well. And it left me with a feeling of being left out of good. It felt like God had abandoned me. As far as I was concerned back then, those pregnancies were evidence of God's goodness and presence in my life. So when I lost them, I felt I had lost every evidence of God's goodness in my life. Grief and regret followed. Maybe I should have done this or that better. Maybe I didn't pray well enough or hard enough. I beat myself up over it. But then I came across a sentence in Science and Health that I believe is a healing sentence. It says, it is impossible that man should lose aught that is real when God is all and eternally his.
Mm.
It took a while, but I came to see that I couldn't really lose God's goodness. I came to understand that love, God, was active in my experience, pouring out good to me, and then the grief was healed. More recently, I read an account in the Sentinel. A woman told of how she married a man she felt very much in love with. She came into that marriage with some beliefs about what love and happiness were. Many of us are guilty of that. She had this picture of a perfect home, kids, car, income, all of that in her mind. But you know what? She found she was never satisfied. She was always looking for something more. Well, one day her husband dropped a bombshell on her. He was tired of trying to fulfill her fantasies on what love and marriage should be. He wanted a divorce. She was shocked and devastated. Now, to her, her husband was the symbol of love in her life. And so the pending divorce left her feeling unloved, left her feeling unwanted, and of course, filled with regret. But she did something remarkable after this. She decided to find out what love really was. And she soon learned that love, real love, cannot be lost when one loses a loved one or a marriage. She also learned that that void she felt, that emptiness that she was trying to fill with, all those romantic gestures and, a perfect marriage, it was actually a need to understand God as love better. And when she did that, peace followed. And, you know, after this, her marriage was healed and the divorce actually never happened. Now, all of this is not to downplay romantic love or the love we have for our loved ones. No. But if we understand the true nature of love, it actually improves our relationships and brings healing to them. So if you learn to actually see past if you learn to see past that neighbor's annoying habit of playing music by 2 a.m., you'll find the loving, considerate, and lovable image and likeness of love, God, and healing is bound to follow. Now, today, the world is celebrating Valentine's Day. It's Valentine's Day today. A lot of people are looking forward to receiving gifts from loved ones today. But let us remember, even if we don't get, any chocolates or flowers or anything special from our loved ones today, we can, or what's it called, the money bouquet. I think that's the in thing now. We can know that we have the most special Valentine's gift of all, and we get it every single day. It's the gift of love, that love that is God, and it's ours to enjoy every single day.
Awesome. Awesome. God is love. Man,
Yeah,
as God's likeness, is an expression of love.
yeah,
And that comes with everything that is derived from God.
yes,
His omnipotence, His omnipresence, and His omniscience. Awesome. Awesome.
yeah.
Thank you. Now, for
You're welcome.
inquiries, yes. For inquiries and comments, get in touch via email to spiritualityonpoint, one word, at gmail.com. I'll take that again, spiritualityonpoint at gmail.com. Or you can also reach us via telephone. The numbers to call are 080 03. I'll take that number again, 080 or 080 I'll take the number again, 080 You can reach us anytime and we will get to you with more information. And you can also reach our YouTube page at Spirituality in Action for more of the recorded versions of our live radio interviews. Thank you, Valerie, one more time. The insights were very, very, very useful.
You're most welcome.
Awesome. Have a lovely week. See you guys next week.